All right, this is Stuart Sutton at System 7 Real Estate Coaching and Workshops. We're going to continue down that path of teaching you how to dominate your market. Once again, that is a market niche. Now, just to summarize, we have been through why a niche market is so important. It's a system that works in other industries beautifully and has proven to be just as effective in real estate. Hope that you have taken the time to choose your niche. You know your numbers, you know your ratios, you know the hotness ratio, you know the success ratio, and you've had a logo made, you know how to brand, you've built the pieces, you've taken the pieces that were blank, not totally blank, but where the logo and contact information goes, and made those yours, so you're ready. Now, here's the next big question. Who do you market to? Well, a little bit of work that you need to do here. We're going to give you three main sources. We're going to give you the best sources. Now, the quality of the prospects is critical to the pace and level of your success. You want to use them all, but start with one at a time and get them going. Now, let me repeat that. The quality of the prospects is critical to your success. I'll just throw something out for you. If you have a choice of sending 1,000 marketing pieces out to just a group in an area that you work, or if you send that same 1,000 to people who have been in their homes at least 5 years, have a better chance of having equity, and you send them to the price range of housing that sells the fastest in that area, which 1,000 pieces do you think is going to get the better response rate? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? So we got to do a little bit of research, you guys. We've got to know what the best prospects are. I'm sorry, who the best prospects are. So your first group, this is not the priority group. This is the first group I'm going to cover. This is the owners of properties who match your specialty. So if you're doing lakefront properties, if you're doing golf course homes, if you're doing townhomes, whatever the case is, the geographic list of people who own those homes. Now, if you've done your research, you know which homes sell. So after you've chosen your niche, this is your next step. You've got to do research in your niche. So as an example, I have a niche that I've been covering called 1 acre plus homes. I happen to know that the homes that sell fastest in that niche, now I've got homes in that niche from 175,000 to over $1 million. But I know that the best sellers in that niche are 250 to 400. And that's where I focus the bulk of my marketing. I sell quite a few homes from 400 to 600, but the fastest selling homes are 250 to 400. So that's where I would start. And that's where I did start. I started in the area that sold the fastest, or the price range of homes that sold the fastest in that niche. So the locations, if you're going to work a niche, and let's just say you're going to do townhomes, and you're going to do townhomes across a certain zip code. Let's say there's 12 townhome communities there. Well, 3 of them sell faster than the others. That's where you want to start. It's real easy to look at your MLS, real easy to pull up those sales, real easy to see, all right, townhomes that went in the market in this community sold in an average of 83 days. In that next community, 87. In the next community, 91. In the next community, 104. Well, where do you want to start your focus? The ones that sell the fastest. So, price ranges that sell the fastest. Ages that sell the fastest. Do the new townhome communities sell faster than the older townhome communities? Or do the established ones sell faster than the newer ones? You need to know that. So, do a little bit of research. Shouldn't take you more than an hour or two over the next week to determine where am I going to send that. Now, here's what you're going to send the best prospects in your... Now, you can get to a point in the future where you're sending them to them all, but I'm not sure I'd ever do that. If you want to send 5,000, why not send to the 5,000 best ones instead of just to all 5,000 closest to you? Send to the 5,000 best. I don't care how big your database is. Send to the best prospects that you possibly can. Group B is the current expireds. I don't care if you ever worked expireds before. I don't care if you hate working expireds. You never intended to. This is one of the quickest ways to build a foothold in your niche. I started immediately sending packages to 1 acre plus homes when they expired. Guess what? I started getting listings quickly. Don't care what your niche is, homes that expire, you can market to those. I don't care the price range, I don't care the locations, doesn't matter. A lot of people ask me, what database do you use? And I've said, well, I use a database that's kind of like Excel. It's not Excel, but it's very much like Excel. This is just my mailing system. What we do, and I didn't put all the information about the individual, but you can see, for example, over to the left would be their name and their address and all that. But you can see that line item by line item, you have, for example, the very top line, on 6/22 they received a package. On 6/29 they received a postcard. On 7/12 they received a postcard. On 7/15 and on 7/20 they received postcards. Now, that's not the timeline that we've laid out for you. You'll see that in the next session. That's the timeline these people had. I don't actually use this timeline anymore, even though that was only 6 months ago. Now, whether you're listening to this when I recorded it or whether you're listening to this to 6 months from now, when I make the changes, I will make the changes for you and tell you what they are. So in the session where I teach you how to mail, I show you the exact timelines I use. This is a little older database, okay? Now, here is the best database you can have, period. And you can make it as big as you want. You go to your MLS and you search for homes in your niche that have expired or were withdrawn in the past 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years, or 6 years, or 8 years, or 10 years if you can. Now, you're going to send them the modified expired package. And in the marketing session, what to send out, we're going to go over the package itself. By modified, all you're going to do is make a couple subtle changes. In other words, the very front letter, instead of saying your home expired from the multiple listing service today, it'll just say your home has expired from the multiple listing service in the past. Very easy change to make. You're just going to modify so that if their home expired 2.5 years ago and they've never relisted it, your package can go out to them and look as if it's pertinent to them. Okay? You're also going to increase the time between the mailings. In the regular expired program, we send out a card every week for the first 4 weeks. You don't necessarily need to do that for a home that expired 3 years ago or 9 months ago. You send the package and then you'll send out the cards in a longer time frame. And we find that that is every 3 to 4 weeks is fine. Okay? So this, you guys, is the absolute best database. There's none better anywhere. Very simply, would you rather have 1,000 people, even the geographic group I mentioned earlier, or would you rather have 1,000 people who had their home in the market and it didn't sell? Guess what? The reasoning may still be there. Now, a certain percentage of them decided not to sell and they're just not ready to sell and they're not going to sell and may not for a while, and that's fine. But a huge percentage of these people would like to sell if they could. They're just waiting for the right time and possibly the right agent who they feel has the expertise. So they've never received a package or marketing information probably from an expert in their property type. If you are an expert in golf course homes, they may not have ever talked to anyone like you. If you're an expert in high-rise condos, they may have never talked to anyone like you. If you're an expert in lakefront property, oceanfront property, whatever the case is, they may have never talked to anyone like you. Or if they have talked to someone like you, you have a different approach, as we talked about in choosing a niche. Even though someone else may have the same working niche, you do something different that sets you apart. So they're going to pay attention to the package that you send them at a much higher rate than they would a normal real estate agent's package. Okay? This is an extremely powerful group. You can build an entire business on this group. You can, guys, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't have to be your niche. Go back and find all the expired and withdrawns that haven't relisted in your market and send them information. You'll start listing their houses. Most of the strategies we use in the niche you can use in traditional real estate and be very successful with them. All right. Now, another one is the current listings in your niche are great prospects. Okay, don't jump to conclusions and think I'm going to try to solicit these people. We're not going to solicit current listings. No way, of course. I know you're probably familiar with Rand, Nolly, myself, the guests that we have. We are very careful about being the most ethical about the way we do business that we possibly can. Let me explain to you what I do. I go out and preview the homes in my niche on a continuing basis. First of all, identify the homes in your niche that are for sale. Set a goal for the time you want to take to preview every single one. Now, if you're just starting a niche, let's just say that there's 300 homes in the market. You really want to see them all in 90 days so that you have a real grasp on your market in 3 months. Well, you've got to see 100 a month. Sounds like a lot, but if you're going to work 20 days this month, that's 5 days a week for 4 weeks. That's only 5 per day. So if you map it out properly, you can go see 5 houses per day. Now leave a card, not just any card, a card that makes a difference. Here it is. Mine that I use now is a tent card. This is the front side on the left. This is the inside on the right. Okay? I tell them when I was there, the date and the time. You wouldn't believe how much people appreciate that. On the inside, I leave comments telling them. You know how many agents don't ever give their sellers comments? You know how badly sellers want comments? Here's the deal. If that home expires, they're going to get your expired package. Hand write. Oh, I said hand wire, but it's supposed to say hand write on the front page. Oh, I really had some typos, didn't I? Hand write on the front page that you've actually seen their home. I wouldn't say, hey, I previewed it. Just say, hey, I had occasion to see your home. It was beautiful. I hope to have the opportunity to talk to you. This is very powerful, you guys. You've got your standard expired package that's going to them, but you're going to handwrite a personal note on it to them. Very powerful. Now, I get listings every single month nearly from this source, because when you previewed the home, it was very impactful. I just listed one a few days ago. You guys, they said, hey, we remember when you came by. As a matter of fact, you came by twice, didn't you? The fact was I did on that house, and I'd left that big card, that tent card, both times. Previewing your property, knowing your niche, knowing your property, knowing your product is huge, absolutely huge to these people. As a matter of fact, it's huge to you. When someone calls and says, hey, tell me about that home, you can say, well, you know what? Here's the deal. Here are the facts. Here's the information. Does that sound like something you want? Nah, we didn't really want that. We wanted this. Well, you know, it's interesting because I specialize in this type of property. I know of one that sounds just like what you're looking for. And you do. You're not just saying that. You do. It's not a sales job. You really know it because you know your product. So, bottom line is that current listings are a really good source. So, let's go back over the sources. Group A is the geographic list of people who live in homes that are in your niche. But they're the best. They're the price range that sells the fastest. They're the ones that have lived there and have equity. They're the ones that live in locations that sell the fastest. That database is going to be your best database. We're going to tell you exactly what to send them here in a minute. Second is current expired. As soon as the house expired, they get your package. They get a series of mailings. Very easy to send out. The next is the ultimate database. That's expired as far back as you can find them. Put them in a database. Start sending. You don't have to send your packages all at once and spend a whole ton of money on postage. Dole them out. Send a few at a time. You will start getting responses. And the fourth is current listings. You're going to go out and preview. Now, yeah, a bunch of those are going to sell, but some of them aren't. And regardless of, what if you never get a listing? Is it worth it your time? Absolutely, it's worth your time. 100% worth your time. So, the quality of the prospects is critical to how fast and how much success you have. You guys, this niche system is going to bring you success. It's going to be consistent, dependable, and the income is lucrative. Remember, it's your choice, so make it a powerful day today.